Company specific now. Louis the Beagle is a patient of PharmAust's. It's completed a 1-year treatment for canine B-cell lymphoma with no side effects. Let's get the detail and the work of PharmAust's and what its trials are about, what it's offering in terms of its product. To tell us more, Dr. Kim Agnew, Principal Investigator at PharmAust's Canine Trial, joins us now. Kim, very good to catch up with you. Thanks so much for joining us. All right. So tell us then initially, how common is B-cell lymphoma in canines, in dogs?
Yeah, good afternoon. Look, it's one of the more common tumours and unfortunately probably one of the more serious diagnoses that dogs can get. You're probably looking between 7 to sort of 20% of tumours are actually B-cell lymphoma. And there's actually many types of lymphoma, of which B-cell is just one.
All right, so you're at phase 2 of your trial. What does the treatment involve?
Look, yeah, phase 2 is really we're working through assessing subjects and looking at different dose rates. But the study is quite a simple study. We're looking at a 28-day treatment regimen, and we assess the dogs very carefully on day 0 before enrolment, then again on day 14 and day 28. And assessment involves radiographic examinations of the chest, ultrasound of the abdomen, and general health investigations. We want dogs that are still looking quite bright, and unfortunately lymphoma can move very quickly if left untreated. For example, from diagnosis, it's not uncommon if they're not treated, 4 to 6 weeks can cause them to be very ill and sometimes die.
All right, so you got a great example for us. Louis the Beagle, a 13-year-old.
Yes.
Tell us the story.
Well, look, Louis, definitely the top dog of the study. He resides in New Zealand, and as you say, he's surpassed 12 months of treatment. Now, this is unusual, but treating cancer, it's great to have something to celebrate, isn't it? Often it's not very fulfilling. So, Louis' story is a fantastic outcome for treating with Monty-Pantle.
All right, so Louis, obviously, he's enjoying life again. So a good example. And what's the next phase of these trials then?
Yeah, so the key outcomes that we're seeing with Monty-Pantle, you use the word sort of enjoying life, and that's actually a strong theme that we're seeing, because Monty-Pantle is non-toxic to cells. Fundamentally, what it does is starve the cell of energy. So from Louis' progression, for example, he'll just maintain himself on Monty-Pantle for as long as the lymphoma stays in a sedentary state, if you like. So, and from the PharmAust's studies perspective, we have very close to closing out the phase 2. We've probably got certainly under 10 dogs to go now from the enrolment. And we've got lots of interest from global companies at the moment looking at this type of therapy, because it's very different, it's novel for treating dogs with canine lymphoma, and because it's non-cytotoxic, the side effects are almost zero from a outcome perspective. So we're actually really excited about how this therapy could change lymphoma treatments in dogs.
Kim, can you give us an idea of what the pet cancer therapeutics market is at? What's the potential here?
Look, I think it's a really interesting question. It's a tough one to answer, because the lymphoma market and the canine cancer market is certainly within $150 million at the moment. But within that market, it's quite fragmented. So there's chemotherapy, there's surgery, there's other types of therapeutic compounds. So, and it's forecast that it's going to grow quite quickly over the next 10 years as new therapies come in. And key to that will be introducing human therapies that are currently used in humans, but coming into dogs. And I think one of the real interesting things about the Monty-Pantle treatment is that because it's non-cytotoxic, it's a tableted formulation, a daily tablet. It's very easy for the owners to give the dogs. And because it's non-cytotoxic, then there's no issues with young children or pregnant women in the house being treated with dogs being treated at the same time. So we think this will bring perhaps an exposure of the market of an area that has not got access to it currently. So we think the oncology market will be assisted by something like Monty Pantle coming on board.
Is it just dogs, or are you seeing other opportunities here among pets, for instance, cats as well?
Yes, again, cats are on the horizon. We've not gone into cats yet, but certainly we would expect companies who are interested in the therapy at the moment, and we have got quite a few, would progress into cats, but it's not something that PharmAust's would be doing at this stage.
So you're saying also this is involving separately human trials. What's the difference here in terms of the actual therapeutics you're using?
Yeah, so it's the same chemistry exactly, maybe different tablet size, but PharmAust's is looking at cancers in people as well. But motor neuron disease is probably one of the most exciting areas that they're looking at, and that phase 1 study has actually gone very well with recent data that's showed their biomarkers have moved according to the expectations. Another 3 sets of biomarker results will be coming out soon. So the motor neuron disease area is obviously very impactful on lives of people. So it would be fantastic for that to be a great outcome.
Yeah, so I gathered that the company has recently recruited patients for those trials. So that's obviously at a very early stage.
Yes, they are very early, and they've gone through some initial small numbers of patients with a single dose. Then they assess the safety outcomes and tolerance of that dose. And it's very pleasing that dose has been increased, which is a good sign. And also the other great sign is that every patient, I understand, who started on Monty Pantle has wanted to continue it, which is fantastic.
Kim, are you able to give us an idea of the company's financials at the moment? I mean, clearly when you undertake these trials, it's not cheap, is it? So how well are you funded?
Yeah, look, I think very recently we've had a $2.5 million raise through Bakers and through and I think at this stage the funding is excellent for the next 12 months. Certainly, there's lots of runway.
All right. Well, Kim, thanks for getting across that. Very exciting for dogs, cats, and of course humans at the same time. Thanks for joining us from PharmAust's.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.